All right, y'all. This is Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 8, and this is the first part to the reunion. As you guys know, Nina Parker is the host as always, and we get into Jonathan and Anaisa's storyline of them, falling out and then becoming friends again. And Nina is asking Anais, about the whole orgy situation between her and Jonathan. And Anais is like, "What? I mean, it's a part of human nature." And I was like, no, okay, because ain't no everybody ain't just going around, participating in orgies or whatever. So I was like, yeah, you can cut it with that it's a part of human nature stuff, okay? But anyways, so she's asking Jonathan, well, can I talk about it now? I was like, well, why would you even want to talk about it with your husband on the stage and all of that or whatever? But Jonathan gives her permission, but he's also like, I mean, well, just remember your husband's sitting right there or whatever. And she was like, what? I mean, he know about some of the crazy stuff that I do or whatever. And so then, Jonathan is like, all right, I'm going to give it to you, details and everything. And then Anais is like, no, don't say it, copying off of Jonathan when her and Jonathan had gotten to it earlier, earlier this season or whatever. But she says it, in a playful way. And one of them started telling the story. I think it was Anais who kind of started, telling the story, but not really in detail. She was just saying pretty much it was Jonathan's birthday. Somebody was in the shower. The next thing you know, everybody else ended up in the shower, and it was a great night for them. And I was like, alrighty then, whatever floats your boat. But so Ruben, he's like, he's never heard of this story or whatever. And so, we move on to Rich. And, Anais fucking around with him. And, Nina is asking Rich, why would you get involved with a married woman? And he claims that he didn't know that they were still together, which we all know that that's bullshit. Like he thought that Anais and Ruben had an understanding, and Anais says that Rich did make her feel good at that time or whatever, this, that, and the third. And the whole time Ashley, Navarro's girl, which is kind of like shaking her head and this, that, and the third. And Nina is asking her, I see Ashley, you kind of shaking your head and everything. It's obvious that you just really have an issue with this. And Ashley is like, I definitely did, and we all know that from the season. She did have an issue with it, and she's like, because she feels like she knows that Rich is a bad guy. She knows and he knows, you know what I'm saying? And Rich is like, well, how am I a bad guy or whatever? And then Jonathan, he talks about text messages that he saw, I guess, between Anais and Rich off camera or whatever. So he knew how hurt she was and this, that, and the third. And then, when he got on camera, I guess it was something different or whatever. You know what I'm saying? In regards to, her possibly getting a divorce or whatever. So, he says, this is what I said, if you don't bring the divorce papers, then that lets me know that you wasn't, serious and everything. And then, they like, hold the hell up. You was sitting up here talk about divorce papers or whatever, but you was still fucking me and I didn't have a divorce and everything. I was like, Jonathan and Anais kind of got a point on that, Rich. You sitting up here talking about divorce papers and all this other stuff, but you surely didn't have a problem still fucking her knowing that she wasn't divorced. Yeah. Okay, but anyways, so Ruben, he says that Rich has to learn how to be a man because you sitting up here, I'm having a conversation with you, and then you pretty much he's saying you want to sit up here and throw Jacquay into the equation or whatever. And Rich claims that he understands that it was coming off petty, but he really wasn't trying to be petty. And Jonathan says that that's bitch assness. And I didn't really address Rich too much in the last episode. I just kind of got on Anais or whatever about the fact that, well, bitch, if you know that you married and everything, and if you would have just, not stepped out on your marriage, we wouldn't even be in this situation. But at the same time, yes, Rich was showing some bitch assness by sitting up here, telling Ruben about the whole situation with Jacquay or whatever. Like, it really was uncalled for. It was uncalled for, and it's like, yeah, Rich, you did look like a bitch with that situation. And then, Anais is saying how she's an artist or whatever, and how she's, like Lady Gaga and Beyonce and all them be showing their body, so she gonna show off her body too. And I'm like, I don't think that they're showing their vaginas to people though, Anais. Yeah, I don't think they just showing their vaginas off to people, so yeah, you can't even use that, okay? But anyway, so then we get into the ops, and we all know the ops is Bianca, Brittany, Dream Doll, and Mariah, and how they all, can't get along or whatever. So, Bianca, she just feels as though, Brittany, after Brittany was saying that she was going to drag her in this, that, and the third, that it was going to be lit every time after that. You know what I'm saying? And Bianca is saying for the 50 millionth time, I done told you I didn't have a problem with you, but you keep on saying shit and antagonizing the situation. It's not going to help the situation none at all. And, Brittany, she's saying that she meant what she said about dragging Bianca, but she was going to do it on some one-on-one type of shit. Because you guys remember earlier in the season when, Brittany said that, Bianca jumped her or whatever, this, that, and the third. And Bianca, she's like, there are no rules. And pretty much Remy, she jumps into the mix. She does agree that there are no rules and everything. And you guys know that I don't really like the jumping shit or whatever. I don't really like people using weapons and stuff like that when they fight and everything. But everybody doesn't fight fair, especially this day and age. Just like how I tell y'all, when y'all get into an argument, you can't sit up here and tell a person what to say or what not to say. Remy and Bianca did have a point. You can't really tell somebody, oh, no, don't be trying to jump me. I mean, you could say, don't be trying to jump me, or don't do this or don't do that beforehand, but that don't mean that once they see you that they ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you running your mouth on the social media or whatever, you yapping your fucking gums, you have to be prepared out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? You have to be prepared. Sitting up here on the social media, saying this, saying that, whatever, you're going to have to be prepared at all times. You're going to have a team with you at all times. Now, I don't know what happened that day when you saw Bianca and clearly you was by yourself or whatever or something. You didn't have nobody with you to, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, but, what else can I really say? You know what I'm saying? And, Brittany, she just feels like, because Juju kind of chimed in and was kind of agreeing with what Remy and Bianca was saying too. You know what I'm saying? And at that moment, and let me pause for a minute. And y'all know I don't normally try to get too much into like the people's outfits, but Brittany. Somebody said that she looked like the Sailor Moon character with them long ass ponytails going down, and that skirt or whatever she had on, and then them damn astronaut moon boots and stuff. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm sorry. I had to talk about that shit for a minute. But yeah, somebody compared her to the Sailor Moon character or whatever. And that shit had me fucking hollering, okay? But anyways, let me get back on it. So, Brittany, she kind of starts standing up, trying to make her point or whatever because of the fact that she felt like she being ganged up on and everything, this, that, and the third. And, they tell her, security is like, simmer down, sit down. And she's like, oh, my bad. And then Remy is like, listen, this shit has been going on for years or whatever. And, I knew Bianca since 2004 when I had blue hair before motherfuckers was even thought of. I was like, boop, okay, because y'all we've been saying there's plenty of people that was rocking blue hair before we even thought of a Bianca or a Brittany Taylor, okay? Like, seriously, but anyway, so Remy says that, in the beginning she did blame, Bianca for the situation or whatever, this, that, and the third. But at the same time, with you, Brittany, you can't sit up here and make threats or whatever and then play victim when something happens to you and everything. And Brittany, she apologizes for getting out of line with Remy. She should have more respect for a queen like her. And then Remy is like, listen, it's not about this queen shit. It's not about being the queen of rap and all this other stuff. And I kind of sighed out Remy a little bit. I was kind of like, okay, girl, but once again, this shit with you and Nikki, but we're gonna let it go. But she talks about how, when she was in jail, she wasn't thinking about none of this rap shit. She was praying for her family and her sanity and everything, And so, she also tells, Brittany too, like, girl, you're 4'10", you're little, you need to calm the fuck down, And Mariah, she chimes in and she's like, listen, I don't have issues with nobody, I'm just tired of people trying to blame me and trying to make me the common denominator of some shit. And then, that's when they get into Mariah and Dream Doll situation and how, they good now, whatever, but, at the same time, Bianca and Brittany's situation, it caused Mariah and Dream Doll to lose certain deals and certain situations that they was about to have, once the people that I guess was trying to work with them for whatever projects saw the episodes and saw both of them wilding and was like, oh nah, like, we cool off y'all, And I definitely hope that be a lesson to not just Dream and Mariah, but Bianca and Brittany too. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so then we have Yandy and Bianca. Because I don't really care to talk about Yandy and Mama Judy. Fuck them. Okay. But anyways, we got Yandy and Bianca's situation, them, ending their professional situation or whatever. And Yandy says, to Bianca, you shouldn't get on this show and do anything else but music. I was like, okay. Now, Yandy got a point on that shit, And then Bianca is just kind of like, I just can't help it once I get into that mode. Once somebody just really comes at me crazy and da-da-da. And, Lil Mo from the audience, she tells Bianca, why can't you just walk away sometimes? And Bianca, she's like, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm scared I might get snuffed or something like that. And she asks Mo, have you ever walked away? And Mo is like, listen, let me tell you something. Yandy and them had to tell me plenty of times, I need to watch myself. I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing that, because there's a lot of people in this industry that I don't like and they know it, but I have to move differently. And then Pap, he chimes in because he looks at Bianca, as like a little sister, and he's like, listen, the major labels, they don't want no violent person all up in their company and shit. And I understand you from Harlem, you don't take no shit, you don't kiss no ass or take shit. I'm the same way, but sometimes you gotta cool out a little bit. You gotta simmer down, because you won't block your blessings if you don't, and then they get into the situation with Bianca wilding out on Jonathan and everything. And Bianca is like, I really was just mad because, I just wanted Jonathan to tell me who it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't like all that he said, she said type of shit. So Jonathan, he does apologize for his part in the situation, because looking back at the tape, it just, he don't like seeing her like that or whatever. So he apologizes for his part. And that's cool, because Jonathan had his part in it too. You know what I'm saying? He was wrong for his part in the situation as well. So, and they all good. So then we move on to Jonathan's relationship with Trent. And Nina is asking Jonathan what's the status of, his marriage. And, Jonathan, he's, dramatic and like, since I got some papers pulled out on me or whatever, all dramatically on TV, I'm about to pull out some papers on y'all. And he shows us that he got a divorce or whatever, it's official and everything. And then that's when Nina, she asked Trent, about him being a sex addict or whatever. And Trent is like, listen, Jonathan was still, fucking other people too and everything. And Jonathan is saying that's absolutely not true. And he's like, did we or did we not sit on my bed and deleted our Grindr accounts together? And Trent is like, yeah, but I added mine's back. And it's like, hello, that's the point. Like, y'all supposed to be trying to build and everything, and y'all both made a decision to delete your Grindr accounts, and then you add yours back to be a sneaky little prick. You know what I'm saying? And, Mariah, she was even like, hello, that's the point. It's not registering in your head, and so, Juju, she comes on the scene and is like, hold up, let me say something. You saying that you didn't care or whatever, like you didn't check on what he was doing for real because you didn't care. So why sit with him and delete your Grindr account or whatever, acting like y'all was trying to build? Like, it seemed like you was just trying to be on the show with him. And Trent claims that, it's not like that. It wasn't like that or whatever. And Juju was like, oh no, it is like that. And I was like, go ahead, Juju. I be so here for Juju, man. I said, Juju, you better speak that shit, okay? Shit. Because you know damn well your ass is trying to get some type of exposure because people already know or somewhat know Jonathan from K. Michelle's show and everything. And yeah, you was trying to get on this show with him. So whatever. But anyways, so then, they talk a little bit about, the conversation that Jonathan had with his mom about being put into the conversion camp or whatever. And he says that him and his mom are still a work in progress, and pretty much that, he wants to help other, young gay people or whatever, in the community that might have had gone through a conversion camp or whatever. He wants to, help them get through it and everything. And, I think that that's really cool. And I think, I think that that's a good thing for Jonathan to do because, we all just really, when we heard about him having to go through that, it was just really a fucked up thing to hear about, the fact that, people are trying to convert you into being something that you're not. And, he says that he feels like that his mom wasn't necessarily trying to convert him from being gay, but just, the fact that he's, more, he's more of the feminine gay guy that she was trying to maybe help, how can I say, help tone some of that down, I guess, so it won't be so visible to the other kids or to the other kids that were like bullying him and everything. But I'm glad, Jonathan, that you got through that. I'm glad that you had the conversation with your mom, and I just hope that you continue to heal from that situation. It's just hard for me to just express my feelings on that because that's some fucked up shit to go through. I didn't even know that they had shit like that. I didn't even know they had conversion camps, and to hear him, talk about it on this show, it was just like, damn, but like I said, I'm glad that you got through it. I hope that you continue to, progress and, grow from that situation. But, anyways, sorry, y'all. Anyways, we get Lames are James the Lame and Mariah's storyline. Sophia couldn't be there, so whatever. I don't think nobody really cared anyway. Jacquay, he believed Sophia when she said that she was done with the videos. He put all his eggs in the basket with her, and Lames are, he apologizes to Jacquay and everything, and then Jacquay, he accepts his apology or whatever, and he's like, listen, I'm good now. I got Cayenne and, Lames, you took the luggage off of me. You took her off my hands or whatever. Snoop from the audience, she getting irritated or whatever because she don't like the fact that Jacquay explaining himself and everything. And then, Lames are saying how he got the dog to apologize for the situation with Mariah Lynn or whatever. I was like, You got the dog because you heard it was her favorite dog, and you know you was trying to smash and be with her and all this other stuff. Like, stop playing, okay? But anyway, so Mariah's like, I'm just more mad that the dog cost more than the necklace that he got me that I thought was diamonds. And then Lames is like, that's because you wasn't worth it. And then Mariah is like, well, you on the stage because of me, bitch. And next thing you know, Snoop starts going off or whatever because she feeling like, yo, Jacquay, you know, why are you talking to him? Why y'all talking to him? And da and all this other stuff. And then James is like, you know, do you want to be a girl? Do you want to be a man? And it's, you know, Snoop, she's like, that's all you could talk about is my sexuality. I can't do her voice, y'all. It's just so funny the way she talking to her Baltimore accent. But anyways, you know, yeah, so she's like, that's all you could do is talk about my sexuality. I get more pussy than you. And that's when, you know, James is like, he keeps on telling her to act like the female that she is and everything. And that's when Snoop starts to get up. And then that's when, you know, the camera's cut off and, we'll see what happens next week and everything. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna let Snoop get to Lame Czar and everything. But yeah, Snoop, girl. And I like Snoop, but you was kind of doing a bit much. You was kind of doing too much. You know what I'm saying? I understand you don't like him. A lot of us don't like him. And I've said it before. It's a shame that he's a good looking man. And for him to be this fucking cringeworthy. Okay? Like, so yeah, I understand, but you was kind of doing too much, okay? You was kind of doing too much, you know. But anyways, yeah, that was the episode, you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back and share the video, and I will see you guys in a little bit for Love and Hip Hop Miami. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all in a few.